And one more time for the fans. What was that? Right as I hit the microphone, I just missed the pew pew that Keith just did. I wish I would have got it. But hello, everybody. For the first time in a very long time, it is a live broadcast of NotAClue podcast. My name is Brad.
Wow. I'm not, but...
Yeah.
And this is the intern, Kenneth.
So that's the intern, Kenneth, or Keith, whatever you want to call him.
And still call me late for dinner.
You're never late for dinner.
I know.
Never.
I bring my own.
That's also true. You did bring your own. But this is not a
Taco Bell.
Traditional pod day.
Exactly.
But thank you, everybody. This is the first live episode in quite a while, the reincarnation of the NotAClue podcast brand. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you're listening live or on demand, the typical whoring. You're listening here at Spreaker.com/show/NotAClue podcast. Find us on Facebook, Facebook.com/NotAClue podcast. On that Twitter thingy at NotAClue pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I have missed that, surprisingly.
How was I going to miss it?
First name of the channel, NotAClue, all one word. Second is podcast. On Instagram at NotAClue podcast. Yeah, whatever. But again, a new type of show. Basically, it's gonna be the
new year.
Yeah,
new year.
New year, new me.
Maybe.
Yeah. But let's dive right in. Let's dive right into this, and I'm gonna leave this part up to you. NBA or NFL?
Oh. You know what? Let's go NBA.
NBA, all right.
NBA start.
All right.
I'll get a little bit of March Madness going on here.
All right.
Wait, no, wrong level.
Still March. Technically, people are going mad. But anyway.
No, it's from being locked up for a year.
All right. So, the big news. Thank you for setting me up for this, too. The big news that all these trades, Marquise Chris left the Warriors. They traded him. That's the biggest news. I don't care about any other trade. Fuck them all.
I'm walking out. He's done. That's it. We're done. Don't you?
Show's done. But anyway, in seriousness.
Sorry, I needed a beer. That's the only reason why.
No, that's all right. The person that the intern Kenneth has a basketball man crush on got traded. Mizur Vucevic.
I think it was a good move.
Traded to the Bulls.
I think it was a good move. I know we've had a brief conversation in regards to this.
Yep.
I know we're at a difference of opinion.
Yep.
I think Vucevic is a good player.
Well, that's where we agree.
Yes.
We agree there.
We agree with the Bulls making the trade for it.
Yes, we agree
not
there.
Waiting until the offseason to do something like it.
Mm-hmm. If they didn't make that move, the Celtics were the next step down. Because the report came out earlier that said the Celtics had the second best offer that they had gotten. So, which I would have been perfectly okay with that.
That would have been a nice fit for him, too.
Yep, they would have gotten rid of Marcus Smart, which would have been the only kind of downfall, because I like him.
Yeah.
But go on.
But I think that it's a good move for the Bulls. I don't know if it's going to pay exact dividends this year. I know you had mentioned them possibly making it to playoff line.
Well, they're 10th right now, and the difference between 4th or 5th and 10th is like a game and a half, 2 games.
I was going to say, it's East. It's always tight.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think they're going to beat out the teams that are currently in position.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, with the new rule this year, they have that play-in tournament. If you're in the 10 spot or whatever, the closeness or whatnot, however they technically have done. But they can, like I told you, they can basically revel in mediocrity. They're thinking it's a step up, but in reality...
But at the same time, how many top picks are, lately anyways, have been all the hype that they are? When you got these second rounders that start showing out 2 years down the line, it's not what it used to be when it was top prospects anymore. Because they only get 1 year of college and then they're gone. and it might have been a fluke year.
True. Well, Zion's proven that he's as advertised.
But again, a player like Zion, and I mean LaMelo Ball is even doing.
Actually, he's doing better than I even expected.
Same, but that's what I mean. But like the other people in that draft class, honestly, with Melo, what do you hear from them other than the Anthony Edwards dunk of the year? I didn't like the Anthony Edwards pick. I was firmly against it when it happened. I didn't think he should have been the first one off the board. I was a firm believer.
You mean you didn't like him?
No. He wasn't the number one prospect, in my opinion.
I mean, Wiseman started out fine for the Warriors, but tape gets out on people. He proved that once other people were getting healthier, like Draymond at the beginning wasn't completely healthy.
Yeah. So, he went to the more of the backseat of everything, which was expected to happen because he's already on a team with a couple of established superstars. I mean, I don't like to throw Draymond in the superstar category, but you got to give him respect.
He's not going to score points.
He does everything,
but he does other things. He's not, like, as what CD used to say, he's the most overrated. He's the most underrated, overrated player in the NBA.
Yes. He brings that heart to your team.
He brings more fire than heart.
He brings the heart too, because with the fire comes the heart. He has the desire to win, even when they're down 35.
But does he really?
But he does.
Okay.
He will bite your ear off.
What?
Oh, wrong guy.
You are not even close. I just went to the list of the people. Like, I remember everyone bitching about Obi Toppin.
Mm-hmm.
He's not performing that well. I mean, he's rookie numbers. I mean, he's not terrible.
Yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton's doing okay for the Kings. I will admit that. Cole Anthony was doing okay for the Magic.
Yeah.
I mean, you got those guys. I mean,
but again, they weren't highly touted though, which you fall into the middle of a round and you could still get players that are gonna do things for you. The NBA is a different beast.
It honestly, it kind of is.
Like, you can hit at the last pick in the second round, and nobody's gonna think any different of it.
Well, going back to the person we just talked about, Draymond, he was the later pick.
That's what I mean. Like, you don't know what you're getting until you get them with the pieces around that person, and then it's like, oh, hey, this guy was a hidden gem. He was shadowed upon in college because X, Y, or Z, or maybe he just fit into the system too well, became a system guy, and then once they get out of the system, it's like, wow, this guy's more talented than I thought he was.
Going back to the trade part.
The Vucevic. But to get back to that, to touch back on what initiated this tangent, I think it was a good move. I think having him finish out this season with them, with the people they have, is only going to make them better for the following year, rather than making an acquisition later, which they wouldn't have been able to because he probably would have gone elsewhere. I don't think you can pass up on this opportunity.
Did they give up too much to get Vucevic and Al-Farouq Aminu? They gave up Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter, and 2 first-round picks, one this coming year and then in 2023. Honestly.
So, if I remember correctly, they had 2 this coming year.
I can't remember off the top of my head, to be brutally honest with you.
I think they did. But if that's the case, I don't mind giving up one of them. Not a big deal. The Otto Porter, there's games where he has flashes of brilliance, and then other games where you're like, what is this guy doing on the basketball court? I'm sorry. I like him as a player. I liked him since he came out. It's just consistency. With Vucevic, you get that consistency. Al-Farouq Aminu, I was never really a fan. I thought he was overrated. When he came into the league, everybody's like, oh, great defender, mediocre at best. I think the Magic are just crazy unloading everybody on their roster.
Well, they got rid of Vucevic, Aminu, and then the next person we're about ready to talk about.
And we can go there.
Yep. And they sent to the Nugs Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
Orlando got back a first-round pick, R.J. Hampton and Gary Harris for this trade.
I didn't think they gave up enough.
I was honestly surprised that was all it took.
Yeah.
And again, Celtics were the next best offer, apparently, according to news on him too.
I was going to say
he's an all-around type player.
So he was originally drafted because of his defense.
Yeah,
defensive player out of Arizona
and a slasher. He was a slasher.
He had the length.
Yep.
When the Magic drafted him, they started playing him at the 4 position, which baffled me because he was a 3 all day long. But the Magic played more of a spread offense, so it ended up working out. He developed a shot throughout his early bit of his career.
It is. What did I hear the other day? Yesterday, the indication that his shooting was getting better is that his free throws have gotten better every year. So almost every year. So
he puts in the work. You can tell.
Yes. Yeah. You can because you now have to respect the further away from the basket. He used to be like Ben Simmons. You're more than 20 feet out, and you can literally just park a bench right there, and he's
And I mean, he first got robbed in the dunk contest. Maybe it was because he played for Orlando. Who knows? Maybe now that he's elsewhere, if they bring it back, he can win.
Wowzers!
No, it was Dwayne Wade.
It was Dwayne Wade.
I know.
He's like no other Florida team can get any respect. That's what it was.
Burn. But yeah, I thought honestly the Nuggets won that. Hands down.
Hell yeah,
hands down. The Nuggets are putting themselves in a nice little position to make a great little push.
And then also the Magic traded Evan Fournier to the Celtics.
Yep. I knew that one too.
For 2 second-round picks.
That's what I mean. They got rid of everything. I knew Fournier was going to be on the block, though. Like, I knew that. Aaron Gordon, I heard the whispers of him going on it.
Well, he had said just a couple of days before, "Get me out of here."
Yeah. Well,
But up until then, there were whispers that he was being moved. But then 3 days beforehand, he's like, "Get me out.
Yeah.
I want out."
And then I had no idea Vucevic was going to get shipped.
And again, I was just shocked that the Bulls pulled the trigger.
But
I will keep going back to that.
I know where you're standing on it. I know, but I think the Bulls now have a nice little nugget to build around. Again, I was starting a team.
You did say that. Well, think about it. If everyone else comes back-ish, they'll have Lauri Markkanen. Mm-hmm. They'll have Aminu and Vucevic. They'll have a kid from Carolina they drafted last year.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Kobe White.
Yep, there you
go.
So
hold on, it's one of our 7 guards.
that right there, you have a nucleus there. So plus you have Levine, as well. So there's your basically that's your 5-6 guys right there.
And like I said,
those are your pieces.
Having time together will help. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't try to make another move in the offseason, though.
Oh yeah,
trying to ship a couple of those, possibly Aminu even, to get him out of there to try to get that other piece.
Yeah, well they can't trade him right now anyway. Why didn't that go through?
Because of trade deadline's gone, but the whole restrictions.
Yeah. Well, I mean they can't cut him. They can't do anything for X amount of time
because of the restrictions.
Yeah. For some reason when I posted that this was live, it never went to Twitter.
Never went to
I'm sitting there going, why isn't Twitter
blowing up?
Usually a couple of people are like, at least retweeting it, but for some reason it didn't do it.
I got a Spreaker notification. Who's on Spreaker? Oh, it's NotAClue podcast.
Who are they?
I haven't a clue. I tried.
Okay.
It's my bad.
All right, but anyway. Do you think the Celtics gave up too much, 2 second-round picks for Fournier, or is that about right?
I feel like that's about right. Fournier is one of those guys who...
He's not a bad player.
No, he's going to be a good role player, why I think this is a good move for the Celtics, because he's going to be that guy coming off the bench that can give you that little spurt you might need, because he can score in bunches.
I'm actually going to leapfrog a few things here. Mm-hmm. The Celtics, because since we're talking about them right now, full disclosure, that's my favorite team. If you've been someone who's listened before.
Full disclosure, I'm a Knicks fan. We're in playoffs. Yep, right now. Mm-hmm. Call season. We're good. I quit.
Stop the games.
Hey, wait, we had an all-star. Fuck off.
Hey, now.
Sorry. Language. My bad.
No. You said all-star, so I said hey now. But anyway.
I know, but anyway,
back to where we were. we apparently we're still the ADD of podcasts.
Of course.
But the Celtics trading Tice. I was honestly really surprised they traded him for Mo Wagner. All this sets up is where I was going with this today. The buyout of Drummond.
Yeah.
I'm thinking because he's already visited with the Celtics. Was that the setup for that? Do you think?
I mean, smart play if it is the setup for that. The only thing is it's still a gamble.
I was going to say it's a risk.
Exactly.
Danny Ainge risks certain things and doesn't in other directions. Like look with draft picks. He's had 63 million draft picks in the last 5 years. And he's traded, the second round ones and 1 first, I think, out of all of them.
And that's the thing is, if they get Drummond, worth it.
Oh, God, yeah.
But, God, he's got so much interest elsewhere, too. Lots of teams are throwing money at him like, hey, I'll sign you for the league, man.
I hope the Celtics get him. Again, full disclosure, as a fan.
Honestly, I think the Celtics need him this year.
Mm-hmm. They need him. They signed Tristan Thompson, and that's been shitting in their hand.
I never thought Tristan was a good player. Never.
But the sad thing is, if he plays and his head is right, he'll get you 11-11.
Yeah. Honestly, I always think he was a product of opportunity. At the time, anyway.
He also had certain teammates that helped him. But he did, actually, after he left, he did still put up double-doubles.
Yes. But after that teammate left, who else was there? The injured Kevin Love?
Still injured Kevin Love?
He is the perpetually injured Kevin Love.
No, yeah, he is.
I mean, the only time he was healthy was when he was in Minnesota.
Yep. Yeah. I think he got injured once. So.
Yeah.
Oh, well, whatever.
And I never thought Tristan Thompson was worth the money that he ended up making.
I was still shocked the Celtics brought him in. And then they traded Tice, and I was like, what are you doing? And then when the Drummond situation was going, I was like, okay, I see it. I'm hoping it doesn't shit in their hand. But, all right, back to...
Still yet to be seen.
Back to the Nugs.
Back to the Nugs. Nugs.
They got Aaron Gordon, but they also got JaVale McGee.
Yes.
So, now I will ask the question that I asked you before we went on the air. Is this setting up the Joker to be the MVP?
Is he in the top 5? Sorry. He's not in the top 5 in points, rebounds, or assists. Vucevic, top 5 in rebounds, by the way. You're welcome. But I know he's currently the front runner.
Well, he wasn't
until the injuries.
It was always LeBron,
the tertiary,
Embiid, yeah. And then they're like, oh, but then you got Vucevic and the Greek Freak, and
yeah.
Or not Vucevic, the Joker.
Yeah.
That's it. We talked about
Vucevic. Yeah! Vucevic snuck in there. He's in the talks. He's not.
I meant the Joker.
He's not.
I meant the Joker.
Let's not get it twisted. He's not.
No. Not at all.
But honestly, I think if anything, this could possibly hurt Vucevic's with these moves.
You mean the Joker?
Yes, the Joker.
He did it too!
Yeah! I like Vucevic. No, I think it could hurt the Joker. Right now, they're possibly giving themselves a chance to save the Joker playing time for the playoffs.
No, I actually think this is going to help him. Because with him, it's going to be... He'll now have two guys who can slash at the basket, so that'll up his assists.
I think rebounds are going to go down because you got two guys that are good rebounders. Aaron Gordon being an offensive rebounder, and I mean that's all JaVale McGee it's really used for.
Yeah, well, yeah,
is rebounding.
Yeah, no, you're kind of right there.
And
I mean, he can score.
He can, and he runs the floor well. And defensively, he's solid, which is always a good thing to solidify your defense.
Yes.
I just think that it could lead to his stats going down, and possibly, like I said, his minutes. Because say they get a decent lead in a game, they're going to pull him, and they're going to put in I call him Proby, McGee. From NCIS, because Timothy McGee was known as Proby, and JaVale McGee has the same last name, so I call him Proby.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Because I'm going to refer to him as it again.
I'm kind of glad because I'm like, who the fuck is Proby?
Exactly. So
I had no goddamn clue.
I had to connect the dots for you.
I still had no clue. No, I just realized what I said.
You said the title of the show.
I did it.
Okay, but yeah. So
God, we're stupid.
I can see that affecting his numbers in a negative connotation. Yeah, we go from being stupid to me dropping a word like connotation. What?
But you used words that were bigger.
Yes.
Oh, Stephen A. Smith.
This is blasphemous. Sorry, I just spit up all over the place.
You literally did.
Ooh, he just drank my spit.
Did he just eat a spit? Sorry.
But yeah, and I think it's going to help. I think it's going to hurt him. I think Giannis is going to make a push again. You're going to see Giannis be up there, but I think you're going to hear a lot more people drop Luka the Don's name, especially if the Mavs do a little bit more.
All right, now going to another team in the East that picked up a nice piece. Picking up Oladipo.
Nice piece.
The Heat picked up Oladipo.
Another defensive stud to go along in there.
And he can score, too.
Yes.
He's a scorer, too. What the Heat gave up was Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk, and they swapped picks in 2022.
So 2 former Celtics.
Yep, this is true.
And swapping of the picks.
Yep, this is absolutely true.
I mean, yes, Oladipo has his injury history as well that he has to battle with.
But I think he's starting to come around from it.
But availability is the stat not kept. That matters the most.
That's true. We have said this on the show over the years as well.
And I think that could play into things, but the Heat, again, very solid defense already, and adding him on the perimeter is going to only help them. And they didn't give up much to get it, so...
I mean, Avery Bradley can defend, and so can Olynyk, but
I think
when you get a piece like this...
Again, I think you're getting an overall better on both ends of the ball than those two combined with just this one player.
Oh, God. Just from a position standpoint, Avery Bradley is way underneath Oladipo scoring-wise. Defensive-wise might be the only place that they're in the ballpark. Because Avery Bradley is somebody who shut down big names in the past.
In the past.
Yes.
We also have to take age into a factor here.
He's not that old, though.
But not as quick as these other people.
Good Lord.
These young kids, they do it.
So now I'm going to ask another question, staying in the East.
Come to Gander Mountain with me.
Did the 76ers screw a chance by not getting Lowry? Because they were supposedly the team that was coveting him and trying to bring him in.
I don't think they need him.
I mean, according to everyone else, they needed him. But they were the team trying to bring him in for whatever they were going to give up.
I don't think they need him. You already have a point forward in Ben Simmons. Why do you need a point guard that rebounds?
I don't know.
Because that's what Kyle Lowry is to me. He's a point guard that rebounds the ball well. He's not going to wow you with the scoring.
He can.
He's very streaky. Like, if he's on from behind the arc...
Well, look at the playoffs last year. In the games with the Celtics, against the Celtics. In the games that they lost, he was like MIA.
Yeah.
In the games they won, he was lights friggin' out.
And that's... You don't need that. I mean, yeah, off the bench, that's good. But the way they were talking is they wanted him, you gotta start, you gotta be this... No!
Well, if he went there, you can move...
Well, what would they have given up?
And
that's where the issue is.
I don't even know. And Toronto is not one of those teams that's just going to take bargain shit.
No, I have no idea why Philly would even think about it.
But you got to look at it because the Heat improved themselves. They really did.
They did.
The Celtics technically improved themselves a little bit, not a lot. The Nets have three legit players, but availability again. But if they all get healthy, oh shit!
I mean, how many games have they played together?
Like 6, ish.
Granted, I mean, Katie and James Harden have a history.
True, and then you have the Bucks, who are just the Bucks.
Yeah, but I don't think they needed to make a move.
So as of right now, as all teams are constituted, and let's say health is good for majority of it, which team will come out of the East? I'm putting you on the spot right now.
Which team will come out of the East?
Yep.
It's going to be Brooklyn.
Do you think it's Brooklyn?
I think because you said all healthy. It's going to be Brooklyn. If those three are on the court for a majority of the game, which they would be if they were all healthy, nobody in the East is stopping them.
Now let's go out west. With the addition that the Nuggets all made and the Jazz being what they've been all year. They've been overlooked. They're number one and they're overlooked.
They are the quiet assassins.
They are. But everyone being healthy-ish, is it still the Lakers? Is it still the Lakers in the field? Or would you take the field? Because let's be honest, that's pretty much how that's going to be.
It's tough. It's tough with AD and LeBron. It's tough to say anything against them at all.
Okay. And the pieces they have around
that's
are
the thing.
goddamn good.
They're nothing to bat an eyelash at.
No, not at all.
But I might take the field. If it's the Lakers or the field, I might take the field.
Well, because I'm going to look at it this way. The Jazz...
That's what I mean.
They're a really good team. They seem to not like to play against the Lakers. But the Nuggets, they'll give the Lakers a run. Because they have all the size and the pieces to
not
compete.
Having a home court advantage, the bubble last year was different.
Yes.
That, didn't play into things.
That was an anomaly.
Exactly.
That's what that was.
Home court advantage is going to make a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Lakers, I don't think are going to come close to getting a home court advantage game.
Oh, well, let's look at it. I'm going to tell you right now. The Lakers are 4th. And they have, for the rest of the season, if I'm trying to remember the statistic I saw, the 28th easiest schedule, which means they have one of the 4th hardest schedule.
Yeah. And I don't see them getting above where they're at right now. they're going to be a 4 seed at best.
They're 2 games behind, or a game and a half, behind the Clippers. And then the other team I was going to talk about, the surprising Phoenix Suns.
Devin Booker, all-star snub. Jump off a cliff.
I mean, honestly, CP3, I know his playoff pedigree isn't great, but regular season-wise, his teams almost always perform. I'm not wrong.
You're not. I don't.
It might not necessarily be him.
That's why I hate the way you phrased it.
But the reason why I phrase it that way is because when you are the star or one of these stars, it's like the quarterbacks. It's going to fall on their shoulders,
and that's the
regardless.
Thing, is I hope he doesn't take it that way this year.
I hope he doesn't either.
In the past, yes, he needed to take it that way.
I think now because his age, the team that he has around him,
yep.
I think that's going to make it different. I honestly do.
Because, honestly, if I
also want Devin Booker to start showing up in those fucking State Farm commercials, but that's another story. He needs to be known, he needs to be more known.
Yes. He needs to market himself, is what he needs to do.
Well, the thing is, though,
I know.
In the NBA, they have people who are marketable, and then they have people that need the help.
But he is marketable. He's just a quiet mother. And I've always been a fan of the quiet mothers. I mean, Kevin Garnett was a household name, and yet he didn't do. I mean, yeah, he was one of the biggest trash talkers in the game at the time.
Yeah, but he was a 2010 guy all the time.
But that's the thing is, outside of him playing the sport, he was not in anything.
No, well, he was in Uncut Gems and stuff like that. What I mean,
is he playing now?
No, well, he was a spokesman for Gatorade or whatever the hell it was, though, for a while.
Again, that's when...
Sports
hold
drink.
on, but that's when, these sports companies actually invested in athletes, not faces of athletes. Now it's more, hey, are you known on social media? Are you this guy? Do you have your own TikTok?
Well, I like the new Gatorade commercial with Usain Bolt, Megan Rapinoe, Michael Jordan, and Mia Hamm. I like that because you're getting the 2 of the biggest names in soccer over the last couple of decades. You're getting probably one of the biggest names ever in sports in Michael Jordan, and then worldwide sports, Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
You're getting that, and it's Usain Bolt and Rapinoe. Doing all these sports, basically doing what Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union were doing, but it's instead of workout stuff, it's workout stuff but sports stuff. Like he bets her soccer or something, and Rapinoe just makes him look foolish.
Yeah.
And so then he sprints against her and beats her by a mile. And so I mean, it's got funniness, and then at the end, it's like Michael Jordan's looking at his phone, going, "No, I won't do that," and she goes, and Mia Hamm's like, "I will," and putts not looking and makes it from like 40 feet. So I mean, I like how they're doing that. But I know we're kind of off kilter here, but
again, get back to the Devin Booker.
Yeah, that's how it started.
That's the sports again. Sports things doing sports things.
Yes.
Whereas now it's State Farm advertisements for Aaron Rodgers and freaking
Chris Paul, Pat Mahomes. Yeah. Drake.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, Vince Carter didn't have commercials. Oh. Everybody knew who Vince Carter was.
Well, that's because Vince Carter
jumped over a 7 foot. Yeah, but still. Devin Booker's that type of player. He's not, I'm going to dunk over you type of player, but the guy's a basketball player.
Yeah.
And if you watch him play one game, you notice it.
Yeah.
Apparently, people be blind. Either that or nobody's just watching the Suns.
Honestly, that's kind of it.
I know.
Because,
hold on. I'm going to say it right now. How many people that casual basketball fans can name more than one, or we'll go more than 3 famous Phoenix Suns players over the years?
Phoenix Suns players? Not named Charles Barkley.
That's why I said 3 people. I want 3 people.
Yeah, but
you're going to go Nash. You're going to go Barkley. you're going to go Stoudemire.
You could.
More than likely.
You can go Kevin Johnson, but again, that's further back. You got Tom Chambers. Again, I can go.
No, I can go too.
Again, if CD were here, he could do the same freaking thing.
Michael Finley?
Brandon would do the same freaking thing. It's like,
but that's what I said.
You got like Sean Marion, like you got all these players.
And then, but it's casual fans.
Yeah.
It's the casual fans.
But once you hook the casual, that's where you get it. Like Zion, going back to Zion.
Well, that's the thing, is he had the hype.
He had the hype. He had the Duke train.
Mm-hmm.
That helped him. And then that shoe blowout game really, like, that thrust him more onto the map, even though he was already there from the dunk videos and shit that you were getting from his mixtape shit when he was in high school.
And that's the thing, is...
Which seems like it was forever ago. In reality, that was like 2.5 years ago. Yeah. But still.
I just hate the fact that people with the talent, like, Bradley Beal for the longest time. Devin Booker now.
Donovan Mitchell. That's another person that could be marketed because he's young. He's a good player, really good player.
He is.
But again, he plays in Utah where they don't allow fun. And
true story. True story.
Anybody in Utah, I apologize. Not really. But
hold on. To piggyback off that Utah where they don't allow fun, I saw something the other day.
Uh-oh.
Utah wants to get all electronic devices sold in their state to have porn blockers on it. They want to make porn watching on any device illegal.
They understand what state they border, right?
They want, and they asked for 5 states to get on board with them to block porn on all electronic devices.
Again, they neighbor a certain state.
And
where prostitution's fucking legal.
And I tell you, 100% true. There's a video of the governor saying it. Yeah.
They live a stone's throw from fucking Vegas.
Literal thing. So I just wanted to touch on that while you brought up the whole...
What the shit? I didn't hear this.
I did.
Holy balls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So... Not fun. But yes, another talented player. Plays basketball really well, but not going to be known by your...
No, he's not.
Not by your layman sports player, sports fan. It's just, hey, he's a basketball guy.
Also, I forgot to mention in the Nets thing. Remember, they also got Blake.
Yeah, I know. I knew they had Blake. Yeah, it's not the same as he was before. I mean, yes, he jumped...
Well, we were talking about marketable people, and he's marketable. He's a marketable guy, and that's what sparked.
He's got that off-court personality.
Yeah, and that's what sparked that. Because he came from out west and then went further east, and now he's all the way east.
Yeah,
and now he's in a big market. But technically, a big market.
But again, it's like.
So you're going with the field.
I'm going with the field. I'm going with the field.
It's like you said. It's way too hard to go against LeBron and AD if they're healthy enough. It thoroughly is. But it sucks saying this, but now I'll answer the East part. The Heat, the way they're constituted, I wouldn't be surprised if they. Just because their defense is what, like last year, that's what helped them, and they have it. They have it in spades.
I think the bubble helped that.
Well, all season they had a good defense.
What I'm saying is I think the bubble helped them propel themselves to where they ended up last year.
Okay.
I don't think... Because, again, you're going to have some crowds. You're going to have some noise. Traveling makes a difference. It does.
Well, what are you talking about? They don't call travel in basketball. No, I'm sorry. Anyway.
So, traveling to a game...
Yeah, no. I got you.
Especially with the NBA and how their playoffs go. That's a lot of sleep schedule messed up. Jet lag. I know there's not much of it when you're playing, Eastern, but you still can. It's when you go east to west or west to east. That's usually when it's worse. But
it's when you're going from like Portland to Miami.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge gap.
But at the same time, you still getting on a plane, traveling, all of that, uprooting your life, having to basically reset your routine. I don't think Miami's going to be able to make that push.
And that's another team I want to quickly say, because Portland. McCollum's now healthy.
Yep.
Nurkic, he's coming back healthy. Like, they're going to be assembled again. And they're still sixth. They're sitting there. They're only a game and a half behind what the Lakers are.
And, well, that's why I'm going field on that side.
In the East, I know that the Heat right now are seventh, and that doesn't seem normal. The Knicks are fifth.
No, they're going to come out of the East.
But
Tom Tibbs all the way.
I'm looking at this. Charlotte is fourth, and they're 9 games behind the 76ers. But then you literally go. The Knicks are top. The Knicks are ticked by percentage points just behind.
Yeah.
Then you have the Hawks a half game behind the Hornets. Then you have a half game behind the Hawks. You have the Heat. Then a half game behind the Heat is the Celtics. Then a half game behind the Celtics is the Pacers. Yeah. And 1 game behind them is the Bulls.
4 down is completely just flip a coin, roll a die.
Except honestly.
Subtract by 7.
You can throw the Raptors in here. They're a game and a half behind the Bulls, and 2.5 behind the Bulls is Cleveland.
Yep, that's what I mean. Like, just roll a die, flip a coin. Whatever happens. Those 4 down, you're.
So since it's 12 teams, we're only 12-sided die. Uh-oh.
I have one.
I know you do. That's why I went that way. And now, actually, if you think about it, out in the West. San Antonio is only a half game ahead of Memphis, and Memphis is the 9 seed. And then a game behind Memphis is Golden State, and 2 games behind Golden State is both the Pelicans and the Kings. And half game behind them is the Thunder. And then you have the Rockets and the Timberwolves. They're just distantly there.
Remember when the Rockets were always in the playoffs?
If they make the playoffs this year, I will give up my fortune.
Oh.
My hundreds of dollars
that you've made on Spotify.
I wish I made that. My hundreds of dollars I have in my bank account. Hundreds.
I will give up my millions of pennies.
What I basically am saying is today my paycheck went through, so I have hundreds of dollars in my account.
I will give up my millions of pennies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are mortgaging the farm. That's what you're doing. The penny farm.
Speaking of the farm.
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, they said speaking of the farm.
So that's all.
Oh.
I wasn't going anywhere.
I had no freaking clue what was going on.
Not a clue? Not a single one?
Wow. Still have no clue. Anyway. Anything else in basketball you'd like to talk about?
Who do you think's got your vote for the dunk of the year? Is it that Anthony Edwards dunk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. There was
I've seen a couple impressive ones since that.
A few nights ago, Halliburton had a really, really good one. Or maybe it was a couple nights ago. Within the last few days, Halliburton had one. Because I saw it was on number 1 on top plays. I have a new job. I don't draw blood anymore. I'm also going to.
He's no longer a vampire.
I do not stab bitches for a living now. I now work in a 911 booth, and I'm a 911 operator and dispatcher. But I work evening shifts, so I miss the 3 to 11. I miss all the live sporting events.
I work at
still at the bank
at a credit union. Thank you, not a bank. We're not a bank. We're a credit union.
Whoa, calm down.
There's a big difference.
Calm down. So you work credit union hours? I
work credit union hours, and
you used to always say banker's hours, so that's why I said it.
And I'm a loan officer, so if you ever need a loan, you're in the area, don't call me.
I'll call you.
So don't. I do enough work. I'll refer you to somebody else.
That person over there.
Go to our Malone branch.
You can send them all the way to Plattsburgh if you wanted to.
I can send them all the way to Vermont.
Wow.
South Burlington. Woo, woo.
That's the first time I think South Burlington ever got a woot woot ever. But anyway.
You're welcome.
All right.
We're also in Essex County.
You literally have just made anybody listening go, click.
Sorry. Selfish plug.
You always like those plugs.
This one time? No, not going to get into it.
Yeah, that's fine. So, since you chose that, I got to do it. So,
you going to play your intro?
I'm going to. Why'd you say that? Because I have to lead in with this.
Oh.
So, normally, we have a lot of, we would have other people in the building. But since with the new incarnation and COVID, it's, whenever I get a chance to play this game, we're going to. And I have another project called The Future Home, which I'm going to plug, where you're going to hear something in a minute that is going to go along with it. It's music and comedy that I do. It's called The Future Home. It's on Spotify, YouTube.
He's made 40 cents.
I have. I'm a penny here. But you can.
So support him. Come on.
So Facebook.com/The Future Home, Twitter, The Future Home, and Instagram, The Future Home Band. But anyway, so I can actually record these things and do that. So that's what this is going to be. So it's that time, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
It's time for NotAClue Podcast's Blind Resume. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if people are going to enjoy that, but
That's too bad. They haven't listened to it.
Yep,
that's the new intro to this segment of the show.
Well, no, what I plan on doing is making multiple of those,
Ooh.
and then eventually having a vote off.
Oh, I vote for anything that involves me.
Oh well, I mean technically you're playing this game, so.
Oh well.
All right, my next question.
I've played it before.
Next question. You can't see in that mirror. Okay, good.
I can see your finger when you did that. Yep, finger.
You can see my fingering.
Finger.
Well,
There's two fingers.
The reason why I'm asking is because when I read these off, I'm gonna load them up.
All right.
So that's what's gonna happen. Give me 1 second.
Hold on.
Yeah, better get yourself prepared here. So anybody listening, it doesn't give me a list anymore. It used to. Doesn't give me a list of anyone's listening or not.
Oh.
So I have no friggin' clue. Again,
cool.
Not a clue. But so I can't. So if people are listening, I'm hoping people are listening.
Give us a shout.
Chime in and see if you can do this.
Holla at your boys.
So I have it as the bestish seasons for some of these guys. Well, because they may have better stats in some things in some years. So it's overall, they're probably statistically
their best numbers.
So some of these are going to fall into that category. So there's going to be 2 questions. One, it's going to be, 3 questions.
What sport? I can get that one.
No, it's going to be 3 questions. It's going to be 3 questions. A, if you can get it, if you think you know who they are. B, which one do you think would be better? And C, which person would you rather have fantasy-wise just by these numbers
Just by
alone?
the numbers.
So that you could be like, oh, so that's who I chose type deal.
Yeah.
Number 1, this is football. These are 2 quarterbacks.
Okay.
Quarterback A, 66 completion percentage. This is also season.
Yeah.
4,710 passing yards. 30 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 36 rushing yards, 0 rushing touchdowns. Number 2 or B, however you want to do that. 63.7 completion percentage, 46-17 for yards, 34 touchdowns, 11 picks, 24 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Tough thinking of a season.
So now, the other portion of this, here comes the music. On very low volume. So it's not super dead air.
So...
Although it's coming in pretty loud. So what do you think?
So I'm a big fan of completion percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I think that speaks a lot to a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And 66.
And you can round up the other with 64, so you got 2%.
Yeah. Otherwise, though, I think the connection is pretty much a dead ringer. I mean, 2 less picks on the one with more touchdowns throwing.
The
rushing touchdown, that's product of more of the team than it is the player at that point with that many rushing yards.
But sometimes I throw stuff in there to make you go, okay, there's that extra bonus.
Make you say,
yeah, because I did specifically say 0, 1.
yeah,
try to.
No, and that's the thing is the rushing touchdown. Again, I don't think it has any merit in the weight of this question.
But
out of the 2, I would probably take 1.
Okay. So you would take 1. That's for normal.
That's for normal.
Fantasy wise.
Fantasy-wise, you're automatically getting more points for 2 with just the stats alone there, because completion percentage is taken into that factor. Granted, who's going to have a more consistent season? I think the person with 66 or consistent seasons in the future, is it a keeper fantasy league or a 1-season fantasy league?
Basically, since I'm talking about fantasy-wise, we'll go keeper.
Go keeper?
Yep. That way it throws the extra wrench in the system.
That's the thing, because it makes a difference. You know, I think somebody's going to have a better career.
Because you think about it, you could have somebody who went on to have an amazing career, and the other person, it's like a 2-year flash in the pan.
Yeah.
Or the injures, blah, blah, blah. Injures.
Yeah.
Injures.
Yeah. But that's kind of why I wanted to ask that question.
Keeper fantasy. How's that?
So I'd probably stick with my number 1.
Okay.
And hold on, I'm trying to think of who they could be.
Yep.
Similar stat lines. They're over 4,000-yard passers. Not a lot of picks. You know, they're on a decent team.
And don't run a lot.
Exactly, because of the passing yards. But there's not a ton of touchdowns. Like, they don't score as often as you would think.
That's why I thought this one was a good one to lead off. Because it's tough.
It is. You know, for some reason, Matt Ryan sticks out in my head.
Okay.
But
Matt Ryan would be A or B if you're going to do that.
It would be A.
Okay. So who's B?
Matthew Stafford.
Okay. So A is Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers.
B was Carson Palmer.
Carson Palmer. C. Palm.
Yep. That was Carson Palmer's best season.
Okay.
I mean, he had.
I was going to say, he could sling it.
He had legit numbers.
He did.
He really did.
He was just kind of landlocked.
Yeah. All right, so the second one now on Blind Resume.
Hold on. I want to touch on. I did good on the fantasy keeper.
Oh, okay. All right.
And, you know.
So, I mean.
Out of the 2, the longevity of the career of Phillip Rivers, who had consistent.
Literally just now stepped away.
Yep. Consistent years.
Yeah, almost 4,000 almost every year.
Yeah.
Like, here, I said I was going to do this, and I never did.
Never brought him up.
Nope. I was actually intrigued by what you were doing, so you had my attention. Wow. So, oh, Jesus. After he started, after his first 2 years, where he had his 2 years where he was behind Drew Brees, his first 2 starting years. Then after that, he was 4,009, 42.54, 47.10, 46.24, 36.06. That was where he. And they remember that was the time where they're like, "Oh, should we get another quarterback?" Yeah. They stuck it out. 44.78, 42.86, 47.92. That was his best for yard wise, but he had less touchdowns, more picks. 43.86, 45.15, 43.08. His last year with the Chargers, 46.15, and then his 1 year with the Colts, 41.69. I mean, he was consistent. He really was.
He was.
Yeah.
Poor Carson Palmer again was in a bad situation, retired.
Yeah, because he didn't want to be there.
Yep, and then came back and still was productive when he came back. Just,
yep. Yeah, here I'm going.
I mean, he did well in Arizona.
Yeah, for Carson Palmer, when he was in Cincinnati, he was 28.97 in his rookie year, but he only played 13 games. The next season, his first full season, 38.36, 4,035, and then 41.31. And then the next year, the injuries, he only had 731. The next season he came back, only 3,094 in full season.
Yeah.
39.70. And then in Oakland, only 2,700 yards, but in 10 games.
Yeah.
4,018 yards, 42.74. Then he went to Arizona. He only played in a few, the 42.74, first year in Arizona. The next year he got hurt. And he had 46.71, 42.33. Then his final season, he only had 2,000 yards. But yeah.
Yeah.
So you put a button on that one. We can go to number. Go to the second one now.
We can put a button in that now. That
all right. So the next one, we're still in football. These are also quarterbacks.
Okay.
Quarterback B. I'm gonna flip it this way.
You're gonna fuck me up.
59% completion percentage. 4,428 yards. 35 touchdowns. 18 interceptions. 310 rushing yards. 2 touchdowns. A. 62% completion percentage. 47.61 passing yards. 40 touchdowns. 16 interceptions. 270 rushing yards. 3 touchdowns.
It's bad that I'm going to use my same exact logic that I used the first time.
Okay.
Again, big fan of the completion percentage.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely like A better than B. Personal preference again. Fantasy-wise. What were the touchdowns again, if you don't mind, sir?
B was 35. A was 40.
Okay. So A does have more, and there was more rushing touchdowns, 3-2, right?
Yep. More rushing yards with B than A.
Yeah.
And the interceptions 2 less for A than B.
I can honestly say probably, again, as another AA for me. AA.
Mm-hmm. 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 So, who do you think they are? Running around, leaving scars. Sorry, I went.
No, you're fine.
I went Christina Perry. Anyway.
Is it bad? I'm back to me.
Eventually it'll be him.
Well, the guy is in that range. Like, his best season is in that range. Like, the other one, I thought touchdowns were a little low because I'm pretty sure Matty Ice had a higher touchdown season. But I didn't know what stats accompanied that higher touchdown season for him. You know? And it's kind of the Matthew Stafford thing, I can see that as well. Because really, Matthew Stafford hasn't really had much to go along with him. And when he did have Megatron, he forced the ball a lot.
He did. He had to. He had to.
It's like, oh, I'm stuck, Megatron.
Yep. Oh, I just need to throw the ball to somebody, Megatron.
But at the same time, could also be some young bucks in this that, just touching their toes in the water.
Toe touchers.
The rushing yards don't seem high enough for some of the people in my head that I'm thinking of these younger people.
So already you're going A for both fantasy and
yes
for player wise. Okay.
Yes, and I'll throw A as Matty Ice again.
Okay. All right.
And I'm going to take B. We're going to go with Justin Hibbert.
All right.
Or Hebert.
So, B, Blake Bortles. He had over almost 4,500 yards one year.
I like Blake Bortles.
Blake Bottles. A, Andrew Luck.
It was the Luckster.
That was Luck's best year.
It was the Luckster.
Yep.
Makes sense.
That was Andrew Luck.
I always thought I was a little more mobile than that, though. 240.
Well, that was for his best years that way. He had more yards rushing in other years.
Yeah, but that's what I like. Honestly, as a quarterback, your best year should probably be the year you're not rushing.
Like, he had one year where he had almost 400 yards rushing, and he had 4 touchdowns. He actually, I'm going to tell you for rushing wise, his first 3 seasons, he had 12 rushing touchdowns. His last 3-4 seasons, he had 2 rushing touchdowns.
So, you know what his problem was? The Colts didn't have a line when he was playing.
They only had pieces of leftovers from, and they started building the line, and then he retired.
Yeah.
Like when they got the line finally, he retired.
When he was finally going to stop getting hit,
he retired.
Was like, I don't want to get hit anymore.
Yep.
I mean, it's good on him.
Yep. So I want to go to Blake's so I can Just to...
The Bortles?
Well, he's still active, too. I mean, he's still a backup for the Rams last reported. But he had... This season that I listed, the 44-28, was his by far best season. His next best season was 3,905 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 16 picks.
Yeah.
So that was, and then his last season that he played instead of just kneeling, he got a chance to throw twice in one game. He was 1 for 2 for 3 yards.
Ooh.
Yep.
Sign me up.
Yep.
Thinking diamond.
So, we good on that one and go to the next blind resume?
Yeah, my people guessing are Matty Ice.
Well, this one...
I think this one's Matty Ice.
Thes ones are not quarterbacks.
That's okay. Matty Ice still stands out.
Okay, here we go. This one's 3. There's 3 of them.
I failed.
Okay, here we go with A. 1,695 rushing yards. 8 touchdowns. 61 receptions for 485 yards, 1 receiving touchdown on 86 targets. B, 1,339 yards, 9 touchdowns, 74 receptions for 594 yards, 3 receiving touchdowns on 95 targets. C, 1,591 rushing yards, 14 touchdowns, 38 receptions, 314 yards, no touchdowns, 51 targets. I intentionally did it this way because it makes enticed one way and not the other. And
what was one's yards rushing again?
1,695. They also had the least amount of touchdowns.
That is Zeke.
So that you're throwing your hat for Zeke for A.
Yes.
Okay, not Matt Ryan.
Not Matt Ryan.
Okay.
He's B.
The one with the least amount of
rushing yards.
Yes.
It made sense.
But the most amount of catches. And he targeted himself 95 times.
Yep. Exactly how I envisioned it.
Yep. I can see it.
No, that was the season they had Vic. They ran him at the running back.
I thought this one was a tough one.
Give me B's rushing yards again.
He has the lowest with 1,330.
1,330. Okay.
But he has the most receptions.
Yep.
And the most targets. He has the most yards, obviously, and touchdowns, too, receiving.
And hit me with 3 stats one more time.
1,591 for rushing yards, 14 touchdowns. 51 targets, 38 receptions, 314 yards, no touchdowns for the receiving. That's why I threw that nice wrench in there.
3 is Saquon.
So you have Saquon as 3 and Zeke as... Or C is Saquon, A is Zeke.
Yes.
And Matt Ryan's B.
I might stick with that. No, I can't. B's Le'Veon Bell. And I'm going to go with... C as my selection for team building. And I'm going to go with A as fantasy.
Okay, so A is your fantasy, C is your normal,
Yeah.
and then you had Zeke,
Bell,
Saquon. And Saquon. Okay, so A, Frank Gore.
Huh.
B, Matt Forte.
Forte! Oh, wow, we went back.
C, Clinton Portis.
Oh, fuck me. That was way off.
But I thought that was a really good one. Honestly.
Fuck me. I mean, it makes sense. Forte targeted 95 times. Yeah, it makes sense.
But people forget he had that many rushing yards. Over 1,300 in a season. Because he's like Montgomery was kind of this year. He was floating around 1,000. That's usually what people would assume. That's why I thought. Honestly, I liked that one.
And, I mean, Gore.
But he's still fucking playing. His kid's about ready to hit the NFL next year.
I think his goal is to play with his kid.
He does. He wants to. Whether or not he'll get the contract.
I mean, he could be like most pedophiles and just play with... No, never mind. Play with his kid before they get to the NFL. But, yeah, no, that one slapped me across the face and called me Willie.
All right, Willie.
Thank you.
I didn't think it was audible enough, but that's all right. All right, next one. We're going to basketball. This one, you're getting a double banger.
Oh, double banger.
It's going to have their best season and then overall career numbers. So, A, their best season, 31.4 points, 4.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 2.8 steals, I can't even read, 39.8% field goal percentage, 29.1 3-point percentage. Career numbers for them, 26.7 per game, 3.7 boards, 6.2 assists, 2.2 steals, 42.5 field goal, 31.3 3-point percentage.
Allen Iverson.
And then we have for B,
You all right?
Yep, almost joke. I almost started joking. And then for B, we have 30 points a game, 4.3 rebounds, 8 assists, 1.1 steals, 46.3 field goal percentage, 40.1 3-point percentage. Career-wise, 24-6 for points, 4.2 boards, 6.6 assists, 1 steal, 43.8 field goal percentage, and 37.3 3-point percentage.
I still like my one.
Matt Ryan, I got you.
Yeah.
Who did you say again?
Allen Iverson.
Okay. I was expecting Matty Ice. I'm sorry.
And
You went with a legit response.
the steal spoke to me. Like the career steal-wise. And then, scoring total was up there, which makes sense because, I could score.
I can see it.
But I think it needs to be higher scoring total-wise because I think you said 25
Career-wise?
for the A.
Career-wise, 26-7.
26-7. All right, that's close enough. I think 28 is where he's at, but I'm going to stick with it. B, with their assists, I'm going to go with Chris Paul.
Final answers?
Final answer.
So you're going, which one would you prefer?
A, I'm a defense guy.
Okay. All right.
Steals did it for me. I know it's not that big of a discrepancy between the two, but yeah.
Okay, so A, you were correct. Allen Iverson.
Like I said, the steals just... It had me. Like, you weren't even finished reading his career stats.
I know, and you were already like as him. And I was like,
it's like I got this one.
I had to keep pushing through it and not go, shit, he got it right. So B, you did not get right.
I kind of expected that.
Only thing is, though, you got active player. Dame Dollar.
It's Dame.
Damian Lillard.
Assist total seems about right. 3-point percentage makes a little bit more sense. I thought his point career total would have been a little bit higher than 25. But
Well, his last couple seasons, what you talking about, Dame, right?
Dame,
his last 2 seasons, he's got 30 a game.
and,
So at first he was only like 20. So I mean, it's getting there. He's worked his way.
Dame, I didn't think that one immediately because I thought his scoring would have been higher. Because I mean, same reason why I almost didn't think that first one was AI. Because I was like,
I know you almost talked yourself out of it.
but then when I re-asked you said 26. I was like, 26 is a solid number. That sounds about right for AI.
All right, let's go to the next one. The next one, A.
1 for 2.
A, 19.5. Oh, this one only has best season.
Best season. Okay.
19.5 per game. Points per game, obviously.
Mhm.
4.4 boards. 2.3 assists. 44.4 field goal percentage, 1 steal, 1.2 offensive rebounds a game. B, 20.1 points, 4.4 boards, 3.7 assists, 45.9 field goal percentage, 1 steal, 0.7 offensive rebounds a game.
All right, so you're going to need to run through these ones again. Because these ones are very close with number-wise, so I'm kind of...
What I'll do is this way. I'll go A had 19.5, B has 20.1. They both have 4.4 in boards.
Mm-hmm.
A has 2.3 assists, B has 3.7. A has 44.4 in the field goal percent, 45.9 for field goal percent for B. They both have 1 steal. A has 1.2 offensive boards. B has 0.7 offensive boards a game.
Man, these guys are one-trick ponies.
Oh, excuse me. These are their career. This is career numbers.
Okay. I was like, for the season, dude, those are fucking one-trick ponies. They've only ever done one thing.
Hang on, let me see
You're
here.
good.
I gotta make sure I said that right before I go on. Yes, these are career stats. I apologize.
Okay. I mean, not that it makes that big of a difference.
I had to double check. I apologize.
Career stats.
Throwing extra wrenches in here made me forget this one, and I'm sorry for that.
Career stats. Because I was going to say, for seasons, I'm like, dude, these people are fucking bench players.
These are career numbers. I apologize. Career numbers.
These are people who, woo, I surprised you. Here's my best season. Yeah, I'm trying to think. 19.5. So out of the two, defense isn't really playing into that big of a factor. Them both having the 1 steal.
And they're only like a percentage point off on
Field goal percentage. So it doesn't make that big of a difference. The offensive rebounding is... I mean, you got one with over 1. You got one with sub 1, but not by much. Again, not that big of a factor, I feel. 20 points. The assist. The low rebounding stats. It makes me think it's a guard, of course, but for both.
So Matt Ryan. I'm going to beat that dead horse now.
I'm okay with that. I'll guess it every time.
We'll be going back to football, so you could.
Career 20 pointer. 20 pointer. Only 1 steal.
They both have 1 steal.
I know, it's depressing.
I'm sorry, it's depressing. Chris Mullins, B. We didn't throw 3-point percentage in there.
Wow.
And C, or A.
No C. What? I'm like, where are you getting C?
That's yes. I'm speaking Spanish. Because A is Emilio Estevez. No.
Actually, today started this the
Mighty Ducks
Mighty
thing.
Ducks thing now.
No.
Now that you just said that, but we don't want to plug Disney. They make enough money.
They do. Take back everything we just said about Disney. Except for the fact that they make money. We don't want to get taken off the air. They'll serve us a cease and desist.
They'll come and kill it. They'll just kill us.
Hi, bitch. Oh,
Sorry for coughing.
he was giving me a hint.
By almost choking on a chip.
Yes.
Okay.
These stats are so sucky. Only thing these people did good was fucking score. I'm sorry, it pisses me off. Scores don't go and sit in my brain very well.
So Chris Mullen, you have his B.
Yep, and A's gonna be Pistol Pete.
So you have Maravich as A.
Yeah,
Which one would you take?
W. Their stat lines are fucking identical. I don't care who I have.
All right. So A is Andrew Wiggins. B, DeMar DeRozan.
One-trick ponies.
No, DeMar's still...
He's a one-trick pony. I was never a fan of DeMar. I thought when the Spurs traded for him, it was the dumbest thing in the fucking world.
Could you imagine him still in Toronto, though? Actually, with him in Toronto, would have buried Van Fleet, I think. Because he wasn't supposed to be what he is.
I'm not a...
oh, excuse me.
No. One-trick ponies. Forgettable people. Wiggins, I know, was supposed to be more than what he actually is, but...
They're genuine ponies.
Bow.
Debbie! Sorry.
Bow.
That's Debbie's voice. Okay, we're going back to footy ball.
Footy ball?
This one...
Soccer! Alright, I got this!
This one is... Oh, everyone just left. This one's another trifecta.
Trifecta?
This has your A, B, and C.
Are they quarterbacks?
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
Nope. You'll find out in a second.
Hold on. Defensive players. Got it.
Okay. A, 105...
Matt Ryan.
105 receptions. 1,416 yards. 11 touchdowns.
Career? Season again?
Season.
Okay. Sorry. Reset.
Signor, you just ruined my perfect season.
Reset.
Okay.
Mindset. Go.
105 catches. 1,416 yards. 11 team touchdowns. 145 targets. B, 102 receptions. 1,258 for yards. 7 touchdowns. 148 targets. C, 110 receptions. 1,039 yards. 3 touchdowns, 147 targets. So all their targets are right in the same range.
Can you hit me with B's? Yet again?
B. 102, 1,258, 7 touchdowns, 148 targets.
B's Megatron.
You said B is Megatron?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hit me with A again.
105, 14, 16, 11 teen for touchdowns, and 145 targets.
C's Larry Fitz.
So you have C, Larry Fitz.
Mm-hmm. Give me A yet again. I know I just asked for it, but...
105, 14, 16, 11 teen touchdowns, 145 targets.
Yards again?
14, 16.
Wes Welker.
Okay, you have Wes Welker. Okay. So you have Wes Welker as A. You had Larry Fitz as C.
And B I had as Megatron.
Megatron as B. Okay. A. Oh, wait. Which would you have for if you were going to go fantasy-wise? Which, if you were going into the next season, looking at those stats?
B.
You'd go B. Okay. A. Travis Kelce. B. Tony Gonzalez. C. Jason Witten. So all tight ends.
Dick. It's like the only 3 tight ends with over 100 receptions.
No, Kittle has over 100 receptions.
That's
Hey.
Meh.
All right. Well, the last on Blind Resume. It almost took an hour for Blind Resume.
Well,
About 40 minutes, actually, for Blind Resume. Excuse me, it was a half hour for Blind Resume. But anyway.
From now on, I want the goddamn position.
Okay, the next one. Receiver.
Oh, like I thought the last one was.
A is 122 receptions, 1,569 yards, 9 touchdowns on 162 targets. B, 115 receptions, 1,572 yards, 11 teen touchdowns on 163 targets. So what you got?
Targets for A, 165?
162.
162 and then 163 for the other.
Yep.
Okay. Yards for A again?
1569.
Yards for B.
1572.
122 and 115 for catches, right?
Correct.
Touchdowns again.
9 and then 11. It's like he's computing in his head. You can't see it. But it literally looks like he's computing this out loud like you would if you were doing a math problem.
Divide by 4.
Remainder 7.
Carry the 3.
Foghorn Leghorn.
A. Antonio Brown. B.
What the fuck are you doing? I wish you could see his face.
Julio Jones.
Okay.
I take B.
So you have B as your choice. You have Brown, Antonio Brown,
And Julio Jones.
Julio Jones.
Yes.
Okay. Oh my god. I was laughing so hard. It's your face. I'm sorry.
My bad.
It's genetic. It runs.
I have that effect on people.
So do I. It's genetic. A was someone you said last round, Wes Welker. I'm not lying.
I almost said it. I did.
And B is D-Hop.
Oh. Julio Jones is a solid guess.
So Wes Welker technically had just as good a stats as D-Hop.
I mean, he did.
That's because, well, you got to think, he was
The guy.
that guy.
He was the slot receiver before the slot receiver was cool.
He was a slut.
Receiver.
He also liked Molly and throwing money at people at the Kentucky Derby.
Well, you know, when you make that kind of money, you can do some stupid things.
Yeah. What do you think? All right. So that was Blind Resume.
I got one right.
You got one.
You should have had more basketball with memorable people.
I apologize.
Hold on. Not. God, that guy who used to be a Raptor and then became a Spur. And that guy who was, supposed to be good when he got drafted and then.
I really hope he made that noise. When
He did.
Okay.
I watched his draft day. Sorry.
So,
Those two were horrible.
here's some earth-shattering
Uh-oh.
news.
What'd we get?
The Chargers.
What'd they do?
They signed Chase Daniel. That's it.
No.
That's all it was.
Oh, that guy. I know that Chase Daniels guy.
Earth-shattering.
He
Used to be a Bear.
is a career backup quarterback.
Yes, he is. Because when they tried to start him, he looks good for a couple of quarters, and then it's like they got a tape on him, and then he's done.
Not everybody can be a Fitzmagic.
Nope. Man, let's segue into that.
Well, the trade?
Why? What? Because I have personally mentioned this one. Why did the Bears not sign him and got fucking Andy Dalton for the same price? You can hear him moving in his chair.
Because...
Did you have a stroke? What the hell's going on?
I'm trying to think of a valid reason.
It sounds like you had a stroke live on the air.
I'm trying to think of a valid reason.
And it's giving you a stroke. Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
His hair goes better with the uniforms.
What the fuck? What? What?
It kind of matches the lettering.
What? You're gonna give me a fucking stroke? The hell is that?
That's the only fucking reason I can come up with.
Oh my god! Oh my god! What the hell?
The only reason I can come up with. I'm sorry.
Honestly, that may not surprise me. That could be their reasoning. For all I friggin' know.
Because Mitch Trubisky was no longer available because they traded.
They didn't trade him. They let him go. And the Bills said, "Oh, we'll take him."
Num. He can back up our guy.
Well, that's the only thing. He is better. Matt Barkley, they could have just kept. As long as he stays, as long as Allen's healthy,
what would have made Bill happy?
It would have, because he would have honestly just us mentioning a USC person. Fight on. He's holding up the V or the peace sign or however you want to. It's this. Yeah. It's this, but technically, hippies in the 70s were doing that too, but that's fine.
Oh, I thought we were playing rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, I thought we were measuring the water in your bucket at home.
God.
That was a personal thing from before the show, but anyway.
It's a moment.
I'm honestly surprised you haven't got a phone call during the show. Oh, there.
No. I got bro giving me a thumbs up.
Thumbs up for what?
Because he's going to come over to my house and check on my roof tomorrow.
Oh, sweet. That's good.
He's going to wear a mask.
Well, he should.
I know.
Because he's...
Brandon.
Protecting himself.
He's Brandon.
He's protecting himself.
Because I don't want to see his face. I'll punch it.
That's right, because we just talked about the genetic.
Exactly.
You don't want to see this.
I would spend the rest of my day laughing.
I tried to not laugh out loud, and I tried holding it, and I almost shot snot out my nose. All right, back to the Red Rocket. So this is a time where even I would enjoy having Jason sitting right here, so that he could vent some shit out about this too.
That's another Bears fan.
Because it's odd. I'm going to say these words, but to me, it even feels like a step up from Foles. But at the same time, I don't like the step up. So it's still a scary staircase that I'm stepping up.
So Andy Dalton's most productive season. What was his number?
There, I got you.
Let's take a peek.
Andy Dalton, his best season was his 2016 season or his 2013 season, where he had over 4,000 yards. I would say his 2013 season because he had 15 more touchdowns.
It's a long way since that time.
Yeah.
But still, I think he's more practice. Like he's going to be that Trent Dilfer that just holds you over for a year.
Yeah, but they could have got Fitzmagic.
I know, but
it's like they waited for him to get signed, and then they're like, "Oh, good, we can get Andy Dalton."
But, maybe they wanted to let him travel the world. Fitzmagic. Guys play for every NFL team, right?
He hasn't played for Chicago. I would have gladly taken him over Andy Dalton.
Hey, my Cowboys had Andy Dalton.
Yeah, and he threw for, he threw for 2,170 yards in 9 started games. Mm-hmm. He had a 4-5 record. He completed 64.9% of his passes.
But, you also got to take into effect who he was throwing the ball.
That's also true.
Too. Cowboys got weapons.
And he went 14-8 touchdown to interception.
Which, not good.
And he also had
-6 rushing yards.
No,
he actually scrambled well.
He had 114 yards rushing.
I was going to say, he scrambled well. It's like because they thought, oh, shit, he's never going to run on us.
Yeah, kind of. It's like now if Roethlisberger decided to run. Like, oh, shit, he's
rumbling, mumbling, stumbling.
Like, shit, he's running. Oh, God. Well, I guess we better get him.
Rumbling, mumbling, stumbling. Talking about a lineman run.
It's not like Cam Newton where half the time he is running.
Are you kidding? Do they run pass plays in New England anymore?
I mean, they do, but...
It's just to throw the defense off.
Well, I'll ask you. I mentioned it on the mini episode I did a couple weeks ago now.
With all the moves they've been making?
What's your opinion on like the big moves of like Judon re-signing Cam for the 1-year deal, getting Nelson Aguilar, getting Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. What do you think? They got other people, but those are the first ones I can get off the top of my head without literally having to dig in.
No, Belichick's doing what Belichick does. He's scheming for what he has.
And they also are getting all the 4 defensemen that sat out last year. They're getting them back too.
And that's what he's doing. He's setting himself up to win with what he's got. He knew he wasn't going to be able to make a play on any, quarterback that he actually wants. Hence why the re-signing of Cam. I'm going to say it that way because he doesn't want Cam. I can tell you right now he doesn't.
Their giveaway is the 1 year every year. 1 year last year, 1 year this year.
He's like, it's the best option. I'm going to run with it.
Yep.
And so what he did in this offseason was like, this is what worked for us when Cam was, running the ball. We need to get him some targets that can actually catch the ball. And we need more productive tight ends.
And like I said in the thing, this was before they got Henry also. Jonnu Smith, in the area that Cam Newton did the best, was in the red zone and on the goal line.
Yep.
That, Hunter Henry will have that too. But Jonnu Smith is that big-ass guy.
Target.
And so is Nelson Aguilar.
And
Nelson Aguilar 6'5", big target too.
And that's what Cam's always been. He throws better to a bigger target.
Well, look at it. Back when he had really productive seasons, he had Calvin Benjamin, who was like 8 foot tall. Yeah.
6'5", 6'8", in that range.
Yeah. And Greg Olsen.
Yep. That's the thing. He's always done well throwing to larger targets. He's not good at hitting those crisp routes because his timing is not the best. It's just because the way he throws the football.
And if he can throw the ball down the field, Aguilar can help put the top off, and that'll help all the underneath.
I was gonna say, you need that. You need to have that threat.
Because they didn't have an over-the-top threat.
You need to have that threat.
The first game or two he did, but then his arm went out.
And that's the thing, is Hunter Henry's going to be that route runner coming out of the tight end spot.
And if he, at the first game of the year, if they play action it, and he bombs it, and he just, even if he overthrows him, that's going to instantly make the defense go, uh-oh.
Yeah, we can't come into the box now.
And that's going to open up some seams for the tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to open up ins, slants. That's going to open up all the stuff that normally the Patriots can run.
And the Patriots are going to run a lot of 3 tight end sets. You're going to see 3 tight end sets. And you're going to see 3 tight end sets with Jonnu and Hunter on the same side to create that matchup fuck-up.
It's honestly, this is going to be the equivalent, not the same aspect and not the same outcome, of Gronk and Aaron Hernandez.
It could be the same outcome.
Well, I don't think one of them's going to murder people.
You don't know their past.
Touche.
You do.
But
it's our first touche.
It is. But I think because I think Gronk was
so
if you're going to compare the two, who would be who? Which one would be Gronk and which one would be Aaron Hernandez?
Jonnu would be Gronk.
Okay.
And Aaron Hernandez, because Aaron Hernandez was a very solid route runner.
So is it fitting that the one who killed people would now be considered Hunter Henry? And that's the dumb joke of the day. We're
close it down.
We're closing the shop.
But
Brad ruined the show.
I also want to put this out there. He's also building what you would get if you're trying to nurture a young quarterback as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you would get yourself tight ends because they help you in the play action game, which helps take pressure off that young quarterback. So if they do decide to, say, make a move in the draft or something to try to get somebody that maybe Belichick likes because, everybody thinks he's a god, I give it to him. He's a good coach because, he did well with this crap of a team that he had last year. They won more games than I expected.
That's true.
I think they're going to be the number 2 team in the NFC or AFC East.
So obviously, if the Jets won,
Yes, because Sam Darnold's going to be like, "Shut up, fuckers! I'm benched."
Honestly, I hope he plays well. If they don't draft a quarterback, I hope he plays well. I'm not gonna lie, I hope he does.
I do too. I don't think they should give up on him yet. Honestly, they haven't given him any help, and that's the problem.
I hope they don't either. All right, I'm actually.
People like to think that, just by getting a quarterback, your team all of a sudden does a U-turn. That's not the case. You got to protect that quarterback. You got to give him something to do with the football.
All right, so what I did is I'm looking for years under contract to see if next year someone could open up non-trade wise, just free agent wise, non-draft, blah 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 blah. So what we have for guys on respectable guys on 1-year deals: Brady, who's got 1 year left. Doubt it. I don't think he's going back.
I thought Tom just signed an extension.
It's option stuff.
Okay. I was going to say, because I'm pretty sure he signed on for till 2024.
I think it's one of those. If he says yes, he's back. Because that's what I believe. That's how this is worded. Technically, it's a 1-year blah. Roethlisberger.
I think his is going to be hanging up. Yeah.
If he doesn't hang it up, they'll keep him coming. Yeah. Yep. Then you have Andy Dalton, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tyrod Taylor, Jameis Winston. Then you got Cam again, Jacoby Brissett, Mariota, who's still technically available. Mariota is actually not available. He is still technically a member of the Raiders roster, technically. Flacco just got signed by the Eagles. Trubisky got the 1-year deal from the Bills. That's somebody that I think he could work with, Belichick.
Possibly, I don't know. Because you also got to think, I think Belichick would rather have a younger guy that hasn't had as many hands in.
True.
Because he wants to mold him into what he wants.
And honestly, everyone else I'm seeing isn't worth even mentioning.
I was going to say half those names weren't worth mentioning. Because they're not going to make him pass it.
I know. I'm in the realm of Josh Rosen and Dwayne Haskins and shit like that.
Dwayne Haskins all day.
And then going to the 2-year mark, where it's 2 legit years, you have Kirk Cousins. That Tyler Heineke guy. Josh McCown, technically.
Ooh. What's he, like 97?
He's like 402. And that's pretty much it for 2 years.
He's playing in his 50th NFL season.
So that's it. Those are the options.
And like I said, I think he would rather draft, and I think you might see them in like the 3rd round. Grabbing someone.
I can honestly see them getting the kid from SMU that in that range, or even waiting until toward like 5th round to get the guy from. Oh God, the names are killing me right now. But Central Michigan had because of the MAC. I know him, but I'm blanking on his name. It's not a long name either. But anyway, you can get him in like the 5th round also, and work with him for a year or 2.
And that's what I can see Belichick doing, is stabbing at a quarterback that he sees something in late.
Kind of like they did with Brady.
Yeah, and then mold him, get him into that what he wants type of guy. Of course, he's going to find somebody that has that, the playbook work ethic, the study.
And a coachable trait, too.
Yes, but he likes the studious guys.
Yeah, well, I said the coachable trait because nowadays you have to be coachable.
Yeah.
If you're not coachable, though.
Yeah, you're going to go like, this is a systems guy. He's got to go to the right system for it to work. No, you need a quarterback that's going to go into anything, like the whole changing of offensive coordinators, and this quarterback is like, they've never had the same offensive coordinator. Well, yeah, that's what you're going to have to deal with in the league now, because teams flip coordinators like
Oh, yeah.
You fucking bat an eyelash, and you're fired, and this guy's hired, and this guy over here, and Dan Quinn's going to come and coach over here.
It becomes the carousel. So, don't want to do that.
And we're cut off.
All right. Any signing that has happened that either surprised you or you were like, man, that's a good signing? You can answer one way or the other or both.
So, Galladay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that is going to make a big impact on the Giants. Huge, because they got a true number one now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no offense to Slayton and those guys.
They weren't there yet.
No.
They needed a number one to help them. And I think with this number one, Danny Dimes' production is going to go up. Of course, they got Saquon coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense did a better than anticipated job last year.
And they're only going to get better.
Exactly. Getting this gives them that extra option that I think makes a big difference.
And they signed him for a good contract for him. He can technically get out going into the 2024 season. So if you look at it, say he's not happy, they'll get 3 years out of him.
Yeah.
So instead of 4 years or the possible 5th year because of the option stuff. So let's look at it that way. Let's say he wants out and he can opt out after the 3 years. They still have a bona fide tomato
Yeah.
number one for 3 years. Health is the one key thing that's going to prevent this contract from being good. Personal opinion there.
Yeah.
Anybody listening?
But I still think that with the core that they have there, if he was to miss a couple of games, they still have those guys there. I think he's going to make a difference when it matters. He's going to be that guy that, say if the big game comes up, they need to hit somebody, and they do it. They got that guy now that you can look towards first.
Yeah. Oh, God,
that guy that's going to draw that double coverage, and it's going to open up people like Slayton, who's not a crisp route runner.
Even if it's not him, it could open up, again, like we were talking about with New England, it could open up Evan Ingram.
But that's what I mean. Like, he's going to draw extra safety attention, which is going to change a lot of things. It's going to make it harder to stack the box against Saquon because you're going to have a guy who's got that route running ability and the awareness has been proven already to find that soft spot in coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas,
But now, my next question, spinning off of this one.
Yep.
Is this putting too much pressure on Danny Dimes?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. Well.
I think this is helping Danny Dimes. I think finally they were like, you know what? We got to give him a little bit more help. This is still our guy. Yeah, he didn't have a great year, but down a running back. And again, they realized not having a target.
Also, their mishmashed offensive line didn't help either. Because the last two seasons.
No, they've been having to.
They could have put this kitchen table there and it would have done just as good or bad of a job. Honestly. Let's be honest. And I guarantee you, your brother and CD would agree.
And then one of my other big signings, I'm going to stick in the same conference.
Fitzmagic.
No. Dan Quinn being signed as the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. I think something needed to be done for that defense.
You went coaching.
I did.
You floored me.
I did.
You prefaced it by mentioning his name just a minute ago. But you still floored me.
Because I think it's going to make a big difference. That defense is going to change up, and if done right, which Dan Quinn has a pedigree of doing defense as well, can give Cowboys what they need, that little extra.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've made enough signings defensively. I mean, they're really signing a lot of nobodies. Or lesser-known people, if you will. But at the same time, I still think they had a lot of good pieces on defense already that I think the scheme just needed to change. There wasn't enough chances being taken. Dan Quinn's going to take those chances. He's going to send more blitzes. I'm excited.
Well, I bet you are.
Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's your team. I mean, of course.
Cowboys fan. I'm excited. But needless to say, I talked about one of my biggest rivals making a great move as well.
Well, that's just you understanding the question. That's honestly what that is. Not to...
Because there's really been nothing else that's been blow my mind.
One thing that I liked the move because I'm happy for him, Stafford getting traded to the Rams.
So I actually think it's good for the Rams as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Goff was going to get him anywhere.
I don't think so either.
But at the same time, I can't say that it's going to be it for them. I would like to say it.
Well, they have a lot of receiving weapons. They hopefully found their running back, and they already had a decent offensive line.
Yeah,
their offensive line is okay, middle of the road ish. They might be a little better than middle of the road, but I think they might.
They have Aaron Donald,
and then on defense, they have Aaron Donald, and I hate saying it, even Ramsey still is playing well. He's getting up there in age, but he's still.
I was going to say it's Jalen Ramsey. It doesn't matter. You put a smart player because in order to be a good defensive back, you have to have intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to understand angles, routes,
and he gets it. He does get it.
You can't sugarcoat it. There's nothing to sugarcoat.
Yeah,
he's a good coverage guy.
He is. He's not the best.
Well, he's not going to blow you away with speed.
No.
He's not going to.
No, but he has the IQ, as you said.
Yeah.
He's got the smarts. He's got the I don't know, how can I word this without making myself sound stupid?
The anticipation.
He's got the what the hell?
The instincts.
Yeah, we could go that route. We'll go that route. But that's the one thing that That's probably one of the better signings. That and I loved the Jonnu Smith one, and then they brought in Hunter Henry and it lowered it. Because I'm sitting here going, those red zone targets, baby. I'm like,
fantasy gobble.
I said that on the thing. I go. If he's that target, he is going to be a beast because he's going to be one of those sink or swim guys. 1 week you'll get three catches, 19 yards, but a touchdown or two. And then the next week you get 2 catches, 8 yards, and that's it.
Feast or famine.
Yeah. So up until the Hunter Henry signing, I was like, I like this one because Cam Newton could play action to any one of the 4,000 running backs they have.
Himself.
He can play action himself, and as he's running, he goes, bloop. Yeah, exactly.
Let me basketball flip this to you.
Yep. The Tim Tebow Florida route basically is what that would be. Yep. Because he's wide the frig open.
Yep.
3 yards away from you, but he's so wide open. All you have to do is get it over the one guy right there.
Honestly, that was part of the reason why Mark Andrews was such a good receiver for Lamar Jackson.
But Andrews also can do
route. Andrews is a great route runner.
Andrews is a hell of a better route runner than Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith is a big body. He actually, both Andrews and him started to have some dropsies toward the end too. It was the first real signs that Andrews was giving out because last year and this year it was like, all right.
Yeah.
But then toward the end of this year, or not even toward the end of this year, about the second half of this year, he was.
I was going to say I think there was a lot going on in Baltimore, and I think it was more off the field stuff, than actually on the field stuff. I do, just because the team didn't look anywhere close.
That's fresh, if you will.
Yes. And who knows, maybe all the moves they've done in their wide receiver core might be doing something in regards to that.
Maybe.
Now, question is, I'm going to ask it, where's Fitz going to go?
Bill had that report saying that he's probably ring chasing, and I jokingly said, "Oh, he's going to Chicago."
Yeah. No, I saw that.
And his joking comment was, "That's the rumor." So basically, what that sounds like is he's going to a team like the Rams. He's going to a team like the Bucks. He's going to a team like the Packers. He's like a team that's
sniffed it.
Yeah, that's either playoffs already, won a Super Bowl, or is just inches away from getting there. I'm trying to think of any other team that you could really throw in. The Bills.
That could actually help the Bills.
Because you got to think that they don't have John Brown now. He's gone. They still have Beasley, and they still have oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? I've said his name a million friggin' times. Stephon Diggs. It hit me there. But they have those two guys, and that's a ton of targets between the two of them. He's not the guy. He wasn't the guy. Honestly, I think they should bring him back, and they should. I had such high hope, and you did too, for Christian Kirk. I think last year proved Christian Kirk wasn't what
everybody thought he was.
No, because the year before it was like all the injuries is what helped him the year before. Now that they have a legit the one.
Yeah. The one.
Yeah, and they have all the weapons that they need, ish, and so it's like,
yeah, he
is the weapon you need. Let's be honest, he is the weapon,
and I just huge respect for Fitz. Huge.
Fantasy question. Since we brought this up, if you were sitting there next year. And you're like, oh shit! All these good players that I want are gone, and you're sitting here going, all right, fuck it, I'm not going to get the best running backs, and all the receivers are laying right there for you: Devontae Adams, Michael Thomas, D-Hop, and even Julio Jones. We'll throw him in there.
Right.
So you have your pick of those four. Who would you snag and have the most confidence in?
D-Hop.
Okay. Just because it's like it's one of those things. It's like because that's a scenario that could happen.
I mean,
also not to interrupt.
I say D-Hops, but it should be Adams.
Not to interrupt you for a quick second. I had that dilemma last year. Champion, but anyway, go on.
Previous year, champion.
This is a champions table. That's what they said. Champions table.
Yeah. But no, I'd go D-Hops just because. I know Adams is probably the safer bet because really there is nothing else in Green Bay. There's Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and Devontae Adams.
Yeah. I mean, if you honestly name-wise, that's definitely right.
Well,
but all the other receivers though played.
But this is the thing is, but they get nibbles. Fantasy-wise, they're not.
So they're not viable unless Adams is out.
They're a plug and play.
If Adams is out, well, Robert Tonyan put his name on the map as a.
They're plug and play.
He's not a top 3 or 4 tight end, but
he's maybe your flex guy if you can. I don't think he's. I don't think it's going to be a career for him. Just because he did good last year, but I don't see it. I don't think he's a complete enough tight end.
Okay.
Personal opinion.
I think he's going to be fine.
Personal opinion.
I think on that team he's going to be fine. You put him somewhere else, he might not be as fine.
I feel like...
I think that's why he was actually more on the map, because of where he was.
Impossible.
Because
there's not really... There's no number 2.
There's not a throw that man can't do. And let's be honest. He's Patrick Mahomes before Pat Mahomes. He was always running, throwing opposite directions. He was always doing that. And 9 times out of 10, he was hitting pay dirt with it. It wasn't going the opposite way like it does with other people. Honestly.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong.
And he was he's just that good. It's Aaron fucking Rodgers.
It's discount double check.
Yeah. He literally is the quarterback. Like I'm not saying it's like, oh, of course he's the quarterback.
No, he's typical.
Yeah, he is the all level all elite type quarterback. He is.
Yeah, you need him to pocket pass, he can pocket pass. You need him to scramble pass, he can scramble pass.
Yeah.
You need him to run, he can run.
Yeah. You need goal line shit, he's got you. You need a Hail Mary. He literally has you almost every time.
Yeah, no, and that's...
When you're hitting 2 or 3 Hail Marys in a season, you can almost not do that in Madden.
No, I can do that in Madden. I can do that in Madden. It's like a one-man cold to Clifford Franklin. The only one going up for it. He's the only one coming down with it.
Great. Chick sticks, guys.
Oh.
Quicksand.
What? Quicksand.
Oh, I didn't know about quicksand.
Bees.
Sorry.
Quicksand be dangerous as a mother, yo.
I didn't know there would be quicksand on the field.
All right. If anyone's seen The Replacements or you haven't seen The Replacements, just watch it. It's dumb but good at the same time. That's the best.
Go!
Gene Balco. Like, you have the most unorthodox team and coach, even. Gene Hackman is just a football coach. Just doesn't seem right.
No, he belongs in basketball.
He played it well, though. He played it well. I'm not going to lie. He played
belongs
it
as
well.
a basketball coach.
Yeah. Hoosiers.
Sorry.
Hoosiers. Hoosiers?
The dance scene.
All right, but anyway. Almost choked again.
Ooh,
Yep. All right. I'm an all-star. So breaking news a couple hours ago before the show was the Saints, Marshawn Lattimore getting arrested in Ohio.
Pulled a Plaxico. Oh, I know he didn't.
He didn't shoot himself. He's being charged with 4th-degree felony of stolen firearms. So, do you want to read part of the thing, or?
Let me click on it. Let me bring him back up.
I figured I'll give you the option to do this if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. Why not? So, Thursday evening in Cleveland, Marshawn Lattimore was arrested on suspicion of possessing a stolen gun, which was then confirmed. And now he's been charged. Per Ohio law, receiving a stolen firearm is a 4th-degree felony. So, of course, he might not have known it was a stolen firearm, but he still received it.
Uh-huh.
And is in possession of it, so you know how lovely possession goes. It was a loaded Glock 19 in his vehicle. The passenger of that vehicle also had a loaded handgun in his possession, which bodes well for... I mean, I can understand having protection, but,
And it also, if I'm reading this right, that handgun was also found out to be stolen as well.
Yes, that handgun was later found out to be stolen out of Ohio.
out of Euclid.
2 other passengers were arrested for having weapons while under disability, while the driver was arrested for improper handling of a firearm in a motor vehicle and issued a citation for driving without working taillights. Wow. You'd think professional NFL player would be in a car with taillights that function.
Oh, you can get that ticket for riding with like your daytime running lights on. That's what that could also be too.
Okay.
So basically, them being stupid, only they see lights. They don't think they just think it's the daytime runners, not realizing, I don't have my taillights on. But that's the same type of ticket you'll get.
Okay. Mr. Lattimore, a proud Cleveland native with no prior criminal record history,
That's the thing that's going to help him.
fully cooperating with law enforcement.
Excuse me.
Of course, it's still a felony just because you're fully cooperating.
No, I'm talking about not the fully cooperating part.
Yeah.
Him having a clean record
Clean
is going to
record,
help
yes.
him a lot.
So he was a passenger in a vehicle that was stopped by police and arrested without incident and was not formally charged. We believe this was a misunderstanding and that this will become even clearer as new information becomes available and is shared with the authorities.
So,
what I'm thinking is if he is upfront, honest about where he got the gun from, they end up making a bigger arrest from it, I can see it getting knocked out to a misdemeanor.
Well, I was going to say it's already 4th, so that you can't really go much lower.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's going to go out of the felony range, I feel.
Yeah. He might get. He's probably going to get a good fine out of this. I with a clean record like he has, I guarantee you he's not going to get any jail time. I think it's going to be a fine, and that the NFL may swoop in and give him something.
That's going to be the question: is what is the NFL going to do?
But again, he has no track record, so he's probably again going to get the benefit of the doubt.
I have no track marks either.
I can find some, but. In your butt cheeks or in between your toes.
Go ahead, look. Out here, let me spread the butt cheeks for you.
Keith? It's you the whole time. Sorry, that spins into a Dave Chappelle joke. But anyway, I think because he has no priors, the NFL may just level another fine. I think it's going to be like $50,000 from Ohio, and then he's going to get like a $25 or $50,000 fine from the NFL.
So I know I said we weren't going to talk about this, but now that we're on this whole NFL, what they're going to do situation,
sure, let's do it.
Got to bring up the Deshaun Watson time.
Sure, I mean, you said you didn't want to, so I wasn't going to. But now that we're here,
I wasn't going to, but now because I feel like with precedents that's already been set, with everything that's happened in the NFL, all the allegations that have happened for other people. Yes, there's 12, right? 12?
16 now.
16 now. That have came forward with allegations against Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Of course, legal proceedings haven't happened, anything along those lines
and
yet.
These are, and again, these are civil suits, which is a little different. They're not criminal cases.
So
there's that spin here, too.
Part of the whole NFL situation.
Yep.
Question is, that I'm going to present is what should, if anything, the NFL do in this matter?
They're in a tough spot. Like, we don't know all the information.
And
but the thing is, though, I've said it with other things on the show. I've said it personally. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
So the biggest thing is
again, not to interrupt you really quick. I want to get this out real fast. If a person has 50 things, like if a certain individual has been charged with a crime, and then all these other people start coming out, not all of them are going to be true. Because people are just piling on, trying to get a cash grab, attention, 15 seconds of fame, whatever the fuck you want to call it, 15 minutes of fame, excuse me, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Nowadays in the TikTok generation, it's 15 seconds of fame. It's not even 15 minutes of fame.
But like my sex life.
Yeah, 15 seconds? What are you having sex 23 times? But anyway.
That includes derobing and re-robing.
Also 14 times. Okay. But back on track. I forgot where the fuck I went.
15 seconds of fame.
Yeah,
portion of it.
Yeah. So, if not all of them are true, you can if there's even one that's not good. If there's more than one, that's even worse. If it's one, I'm going to start here and then branch up, and then you can go with what you were going to say. And I apologize again.
No, you're fine.
If it's one, I think he should be suspended. Just because they've already set precedents with other people when it comes to this type of stuff. Even though he doesn't have a record on this. This is something they need to take seriously and nip it in the butt. Because if they do that, that's going to create an even worse situation.
And that's where I kind of want to throw this back out there. So the precedent that's been set, though, is even during criminal proceedings, they've sat people out.
Yep.
So, should they step in before, or should they wait for the verdict? The precedent that they've set for themselves is that they're going to step in before.
But even if they're sitting him out during the thing, and then it comes to find out that he's guilty, and they're like, "Oh, we suspend him 2 games." People are still going to be like, "Well, what the hell are you doing?"
That's what I mean. You need to do more, and I understand that. But the point that I was trying to leaning towards is not so much if convictions happen; it's the now. It's the are they going to issue him that suspension now like they did with other people in the past.
And
then, of course, if more comes out of it, they extend the expansion or whatever they need to do.
Yeah. Well, let's look at the basically his record in the past. He's been clean cut. He's been this. So we're going to spin it back with the Lattimore situation. Lattimore, clean also. He's upstanding citizen usually. He might do shit on the field but I mean that's in the moment. That's a different story.
That's athletes being athletes.
Yeah, that's the heat of the moment type
that's
thing.
That's the competitive nature of people.
That's in a game.
I mean, it happens in our flag football league. And all we're doing is pulling flags.
If he were out in a bar drinking and doing that kind of shit,
it's different.
That's a different story.
That's just called having a dickhead attitude.
Yeah. With him, this is something that has turned into serial level. Again, everyone's innocent until proven guilty, but I will always say, if it's 1 or 2 cases, you can go, you know what, I'm gonna hold off for a minute. When it's 16, it's harder to do that, and it sucks. Because if it comes out that he's innocent, shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're going the opposite way and you're like, man, come on, he's this and blah, 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 and then you look like the dick for not believing women and not doing this.
That's the thing. And honestly, it's the culture we've come to at this time. After the Me Too movement, people have become more conscious about not passing off a victim's testimony as... Oh, they just wanted this. They just wanted that.
But the shitty thing is, and it's going to happen till the end of time.
You're still going to have people lying about it.
Yes, and you're still going to have people who are literally not even going to believe. Like, there's already people who have been like, these fucking bitches are lying. They're just trying to get money. Like I said, the 15 seconds, the 15 minutes, the money, the attention, whatever.
And... honestly, I can see, like, Deshaun even saying that. I know he hasn't, but I can see that
his lawyer has already said that we can disprove one of these fully to the extent of everything. So, which they're thinking it's going to create all the other ones to be, again, when there's this many, not all of them are going to be true, but not all of them are going to be false.
But that's the thing, is you're going to have people who see it as, he didn't do that. I don't believe that he could do that. He's not that kind of person. People who know him, and they're going to start speaking out like that. But you can't discredit people when they have feelings. All right? So like going to a lovely harassment seminar. You can crack jokes and have fun all you want, but the moment a person says that it bothers them,
you have to stop.
It's a problem.
You have to stop.
It's a problem.
This is a totally not relatable thing, but at the same time, it's what you just said. It's relatable. It's like certain people don't like when you say the word retard or retarded. I know this is completely apples and oranges, but it's the same
concept,
principle, the same line. It's however you want to word that.
Everybody has their own line that they draw.
Yep.
And then, because you've crossed that line and it offends them, they're within their right to be offended. But the thing is, they're supposed to let you know.
If they don't let you know, that's on them.
That's on them.
If they let you know and you continuously say, I'll use what I use. If I continuously say, oh, retard, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now that's on me.
Yeah, you're the one being the aggressor.
That's me being the asshole.
Yes.
Because someone said, stop. This is, okay, again, apples and oranges, but the same thing. It's like if you're with a woman and she says no, and you keep going, and she says no again, you better stop.
That's right. That's right. It is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how far you ended up going. You continue to do it. Yep. You have rape.
Yep.
You
might be able to get to the second no. If you get to that second no, and she's not, blah, 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 I know this is getting way off topic and this is getting super sensitive, but it's like, you're the asshole. You are the rapist, you're whatever. Yeah. And the same thing with this. If he, in the massage things, if he, basically took their hands and face and put that in his crotch.
But if they decided to go, I can do this for you.
Yes.
And now want to be like, he sexually made me do things that I didn't want to do.
And this is where this is not my personal opinion. This is just me trying to put my head in almost like a lawyer speak into basically just someone who's going to try to devil's advocate the fuck out of it. What you just said, let's say that's with two of the women. I'm just using a number.
No, yeah.
Two of the women, they're like, oh, Susan. If one of these ladies' name is Susan, this is totally accidental. I'm going to throw that out there as well.
We're just using random woman A.
Yeah, Susan said that you like this, and you'll give me some extra money, or you'll do something. I'll nom nom noms. It's like if she says that, she's a keeper. But
Especially the nom nom nom.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But it's like with someone like that, that's a money grab. That's an attention grab. But if you're literally grabbing their head and you have your fucking erect penis out and you're trying to do that, and because his size, he doesn't seem like this, but he is a big guy.
Yeah,
he really is a big guy.
He's
220 pounds and 6'2", 6'3".
And that's the thing, is she took it and put it in her mouth and was giving him fellatio.
And hands. And
was giving him fellatio, was into it.
Yeah.
Was into it.
Yes.
If they started it and were like, no, maybe they changed their mind or something.
And he kept going.
And then he was like, no.
And that's what some of these seem like because he's saying it's consensual for the most part. Like, there's some evidence that's saying, he is apologizing for something, which also makes me think he listened to a couple of it, but now it's fucked him, I think, because that's a public thing now, because it was posted it was like an email or a text or whatever the hell it was. That alone, I think, is going to hurt his case more than anything, regardless of what evidence or whatever they say is coming out from the other people.
But that's, again, there's the line. I mean, this one is not a line that's drawn by an individual. This is a line that's drawn just by being a decent human fucking being.
It's a societal thing, is what it should be. If anyone says no and means it, and if someone is offended or blah, 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 okay. But there's a difference in offenses, too, when I'm going, because I could be offended by the dumbest shit in the world.
But that's the thing, is certain types of offenses are just people being dicks themselves.
Yes.
Trying to get other people to an uncomfortable place.
Yes. Yeah, intentionally in an uncomfortable place. Because you can accidentally say and do something that makes someone uncomfortable, and you may not even know it.
Exactly.
But the thing is, though, 9 times out of 10, someone's not going to say it, especially off the bat.
No, because they might have known themselves that it was, this isn't normal.
But at the same time, they also just might and this is where I'm going to go back. Some of these people just might not have wanted to come forward at first, and then all of a sudden it's like
because somebody else did.
Shit, Susan came forward. Oh man, it's happened to Susan too.
It happened to me.
Oh shit, that happened to me, and I know it's happened to Brenda. Why am I using these names? I don't know. But I'm just using names, and it happened to Brenda, and so it's like, oh, okay, then I'm not the only one. Okay, I'm telling somebody. That's, and again, it might not be all 16. Even if it's 1 or 2, that's still 1 or 2 too many.
Agree.
He should be suspended, and if he's completely guilty,
we're looking at.
If it's only, and I'm going to hate saying this, if it's only 1 that's true and he's convicted of only 1, a good suspension, a hefty fine.
They'll probably give him some counseling.
Yeah, he'll have to do the counseling thing.
Yeah.
But if it's more than 1,
the thing is,
you're crossing a huge
NFL
fine line.
Is also known though for putting on those kid gloves when it comes to their quarterbacks.
True. But the other caveat in this, the race card. Because look what happened with Roethlisberger.
Mm-hmm.
So they already have precedence here too, because it was more than 1 with him as well. Yeah. And the only difference is his evidence was destroyed. Yeah. Wink, wink. and there's at least some evidence here.
And that's...
So there's a lot of lines that have to be crossed and walked on. And
that's what I used, because when Phil and I at work were talking about it, I used Roethlisberger as mine, because we were talking about, precedents that were set, because he talked about Tyreek Hill and how everybody wanted to basically never let Tyreek Hill play in the league ever again after what came out for him, and he's back at it.
We gotta look. There's oh god, I'm just blanking on his name.
Ray Rice?
Yeah, thank you. He had Ray Rice. He
on video.
Yeah. And he never could play again.
Yeah.
It's like they go from they either take it too harsh, and I'm not saying that that like him being suspended for a long time wasn't, but then you have people who kill people while driving drunk, like Dante Stallworth, who got nothing. He killed a person.
Yep.
0. He got like a $50,000 fine for killing somebody while drunk. I'm sorry.
That's manslaughter.
If I'm driving drunk, my fault.
Manslaughter. It's manslaughter.
It's my fault. I'm sorry. I know I didn't mean to do it. It's still an accident,
You're
but
still going to jail.
You should. He served 0 jail time. I take that back. I think he served like the weekends or like some bullshit thing, and he had to complete some class and got like a $500,000 fine from the state of Florida. But it's also Florida. I mean, so there's that spin in there too.
Yeah, if
the one spin in here is that this is mostly Texas that this is taking place in. So it's Texas, where no doesn't really mean no, and the age of consent is like 4. So I mean, I'm sorry if people from Texas are listening. That was a joke.
It's Texas. We privatized our electrical grid and then blame everybody else when it stops working.
Political. But
I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
That's fine. I'm actually kind of glad we talked about that, because that's the biggest sports story going on, honestly.
It is.
And I'm kind of glad we saved it for last, because we didn't have to lead off the show with it, because people are already going to be like, oh.
Yeah, I've heard it.
I've
heard it all the time.
This is how we're ending the show. Anything else on that subject?
No, I think we covered it. I just wanted to get your opinion on the whole suspension thing. And
I know it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but when they're 16, like I've said, when they're smoked,
well, that's the thing, is they've started in the past with just accusations causing suspensions.
Yeah.
As long as there's been enough evidence.
But again, when there's smoke, there's fire, and there's already that one little bit of evidence that has him apologizing, and that right there, I know that
you don't say sorry unless you're guilty.
Yep. Or you think you're guilty. Because I've said sorry for shit I shouldn't have said sorry for in the past. But at the same time,
that's a family trait.
Yeah, that is. But at the same time, if it's something serious and I say I'm sorry, then that means in my head I go, well, maybe I did maybe I did say something or did something or shit on someone's chest.
I'm appalled.
No one is taking a shit. It's taking a dump on your chest. I would be honored. Sorry, not another teen movie. But, all right.
From NotAClue Podcast and not another teen movie.
But, anyway, thank you guys so much for any support you have given the show over the last few years now. Because we just had the 4-year anniversary, technically, of the show just the other day. Of the first ever broadcast. A month before that, it was the inception of it, where we started all the social media stuff. The 21st or 23rd of February was when Twitter and Facebook and all the shit got activated, YouTube and all that. Yeah. So it's thank you so much. I'm glad that this is back. I don't know how regular it's going to be with someone present.
Sorry,
but I would like. I stated this in the short 17-minute one, and in the other commercial thing I did. I would like someone from the past of the show to be here at some point, whether it's through this as I'm holding a phone up, or here sitting next to me like the intern Kenneth is.
Intern Kenneth.
So, the door is still always open for CD. The door is still always open for Brandon, Jason, Kenneth. Bill's in California, so I mean, technically, if he was here, the door's open. I mean, for him, that would be the phone call or a Facebook thing, like the phone call through Facebook. So I could even show him I could see him on video, so I could poke fun at his surfer bra stuff. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I'm going to do the whoring, and then that's it for the show. You're listening here at Spreaker.com/show/NotAClue podcast, Facebook.com/NotAClue podcast. Please follow us on that Twitter thingy at NotAClue pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. First name of the channel is NotAClue, all one word. Second is podcast, NotAClue podcast on Instagram. Also, follow my side project. I have two. I have my music show, Big Bad Brad's Power Hour of Love, which is where I play music. It's basically me being a radio DJ.
Yeah.
Spreaker.com/show/Big Bad Brad's Power Hour of Love. Facebook.com/Big Bad Brad's Power Hour of Love. And my comedy music stuff that I do under the band name The Future Home. You can find that on Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, Deezer, Tidal, where Amazon Music, iTunes. There's like it's all distributions.
It's sprinkled.
Anywhere that you listen to music, I should be there with The Future Home. So thank you guys so much for all your support. I really do appreciate it. If you are listening, comment through the YouTube page, through our Facebook page. Let us know that you've listened. Let us know, give us topics for upcoming shows that you would like us to talk about through whether it's through sports and movie stuff, music, wrestling, stuff like that. Please do it. Thank you guys so much. On behalf of the intern Kenneth. I'm Brad. Have a good one, everybody. NotAClue podcast signing out.